Hi, I'm Edda, and this is Beauty Flip, where I help ordinary people discover what is so beautiful about them. Today we are looking at following the energy of things. When we start following the energy, we stop negotiating with the illusions, ultimately finding the truth of life and how beautiful it is for us. Hi, all my favorite humans. It is so good to see, or I guess some of you hear, me, I guess. Oh my gosh, that sounds so absolutely narcissistic. That wasn't how I wanted that to go. Anyway, it's good to be here. Good to be here with you as we journey on this very cool sort of adventure of potentially a truer, more delicious way of living. Getting out of the crazy, if you will, rat race of trying to prove yourself or be something just so other humans allow you up further on the uneven playing field. Wow. I mean, I think my own life, how I have spent the better part going up on that uneven playing field. And really, truly doing some really incredible mindfuck math. Brilliant mindfuck math. I mean, I probably have a doctorate in mindfuck math, as do you. And truth be told, I always found, no matter how far I got up on that field, or even if I got knocked down a little bit, no matter how much I calculated, no matter how much I trained, no matter how far I got up, there just really was always more. And it wasn't a more like, oh, I achieved something, let's do more. It was like, oh, I almost achieved what I thought I was going to achieve. And society is saying there's more. Yeah. And that like call, so some of those calls are the commercials or just the potential way that, like I've said before, social media, Instagram, TikTok, basically shows you what the Joneses are doing, right? Next door. Joneses A, B, and C, how they're, if you're like me, an entrepreneur, and they're killing it. Oh my God, they're killing it. So if you just download this app, you're going to be able to be just like them and kill it. If you sign up for this course, if you do this thing. And here's the thing, I want you to know, I've done a lot of those things where I've signed up for a course and done a thing and taken a class and gone for coaching. All of it to some degree good. None of it actually offering what I thought I was going to get. And I believe for those of us who potentially fall into a certain gender category are sort of left wanting. And I can't decide, are we left wanting because somehow we know innately just not the game we want to play? Or is it that the game is just not built for us? And now the game gets even more difficult, because if we look at our current society, the call to be in any way a feminine businesswoman, entrepreneur, women leader, it really does require you to become a lot of things that you are not. Now, maybe to some degree you are these things, so you might need to, if you will, listen to my fabulous little list of, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. But if it does fit or fits a little, take a look at that shoe. Because I think with great sadness, I see myself and so many other women clawing at each other. Really, truly clawing at each other to get, and we won't even call it the uneven playing field, ahead. We'll just call it ahead, because some of you are like, I'm not on the uneven playing field. Excuse me, ma'am. This podcast does not apply to me because I am not on that field that you keep talking about. But we're all clamoring. So let's just try to say it like straight, without all my little mindfuck math and my uneven playing field and all these things, even though I think those are good symbols, because I do like think of it to some way that we're invited to join, if you will, a game. The game of life. I'm sure the Parker brothers will love that. But in our version of the game, basically, so much of how it is set up is meant to pretty much spirit ahead. Men in most roles are like, if you look at our society, in most leadership roles, and by the time you get to C-suite, the numbers are just sparse when it comes to women. And then ultimately, and not to say that there's anything wrong with this, but in America, if a woman has a child, it is most likely going to be the woman who takes the time off to take care of the child. And again, that's fine. That's fine. But I know, like in Iceland, they actually give equal time for that child and the parents to take time off. Matter of fact, it's law. So it doesn't have to be that way. And I think that's partially like where I think about things, because when you do go abroad, you see that life doesn't have to be the way we have it here. And not that I'm tearing down America, but I am questioning the reality of something that I think many of us actually just think is the way we're supposed to be. That we're supposed to clamber up this, let's call it a ladder, or, the career path, right? We're supposed to clamber. We're supposed to fight our way. And ultimately what I have found is basically every single time I get to another level, there's something about it that just isn't everything that I thought it was going to be. Sort of like all those ads on Instagram or classes, that when I end up taking it, and I promise you, if you ask people, I'm a pretty good student. I love to learn. I really do. So I will sit myself down and I will really pay attention, and I'll write notes, and I'll even study those notes, and I'll come back to those notes. My God, if you saw how many journals and things that I have kept over my lifetime. I have a library of them. Yeah, so, I think in that, I just ultimately just thought to myself, there really has to be something more than this. So, here we are. I also believe the other part of why this started kind of knocking on my door is I know great depths of joy that I've had potentially with my husband. We coach couples. We are been being ourselves, have been coached for 40 years. Wow. I know the great depth of joy that I've had with my children. I know the great depth of joy that I've had in my business, and potentially with other people I coach. I have seen, if you will, these just like glorious moments. And I think, wow, I think that's what we're all here for, is that. And so I think that's what got me percolating. Like every time I sort of follow, if you will, the rules of the road, which, it's important. I think I've said that too. We're a society, to some degree or another, we have agreements on how we do things. But every time I follow the rules of the road, or some phenomenal person, influencer, we'll call them, because they're promising me the promised land, and me being like so happy and just like off the hook, I often found I'm not. And when I follow the energy of things, I usually find a greater depth of truth. a greater level of which things unfold for me and for potentially, like I was saying, with my husband, or my children, or the people who I coach, and sometimes even the people who work for me. I think it's a little harder because some of these places that we go to, these, if you will, following the energy of things instead of the rules of the road, lead me to maybe something that's a little bit more personal or vulnerable. So sometimes when you have an employee, that's a little hard to do. A little hard, you know, like, hey, boss, let's have a good cry together, right? Even though I would say most of my employees, they've had a good cry with me. So I think that's what kind of got me thinking about this concept of flipping our scripts, because there was something about this constant sort of, this is the way you do things and you will ultimately get the job, get the promotion, get the career, get the money, and you will then be happy. That just was not adding up for, I guess, me. But I definitely felt that when I followed the energy of something, it led me to things that were far more beyond my perspective, far more beyond what I could even imagine for myself, and something that felt so absolutely glorious in every single way. And I, in the energy of it, because I am enfolded when I follow this energy of, you know, we'll call it a thing, find glorious ways in which I too am the most beautiful being. And not because I do it, not because I do it, I'm a beautiful being, so I'm an influencer, follow me. No. Because I think that that's actually naturally who we all are. I really do. I really think we are all just absolutely, really, truly beautiful. And like so many great authors and sages say, we come here, if you will, and we are, you know, whether we are under the illusion of Maya or we are here to sort of rediscover, and some of you might not like this word, God, spirit, whatever, and if you need me to, I can do that whole list again. Please translate it into a word that you find. But I think those moments of glory and delight and beauty and joy are available to us every single moment. And kicker, they're not just like because we numb ourselves, and I do really want people to hear this part, because I think a lot of Americans are numbing themselves. It's not because we numb ourselves that we are then able to sort of move the chatter of pain, anxiety, fear, hurt, anger away, that we can then feel the lovely experience of joy, glory, beauty, awe. No. Sometimes when I am doing a Reiki session, a healing session with somebody, when I am with, which I would say truly, the angels and the other spirit beings that come through to guide me and whatever beautiful person wants to be in my, facilitation, sometimes we will find depths of pain or fear, anxiety. Sometimes we will go to places that feel so unbearable. But as I've said before, that in those moments, sometimes we see it differently. Perception, I've talked to you about that. Sometimes we bring back a part of ourselves. Remember the puzzle piece? And there's more of your energetic being back online. And sometimes it's to be able to have maybe me and spirit really truly help you, witness you in feeling the depth of that pain or that sorrow or misunderstanding. You know, just yesterday I was working on somebody, and in the end, this person was like, oh my God, my dad actually really loved me. And all this time, this person had thought that really, maybe not so much, you know, like maybe, yeah, he loved him, but didn't really like love him. And this place, this memory we found suddenly brought him a great new understanding of his relationship with his dad. And it was so profound, the levels of just like tears that were experienced. And it sort of shook him. But then it brought him, I think, a greater aspect of beauty in his life. And this is what I do all the time. You would come to me and you would ask me X, Y, and Z, and we would make sure it felt like a very clear, if you will, intention. And then we open up your energy, and then we ask Spirit to guide us. And Spirit takes us on a beautiful pathway of things that are either seen or not seen, or remembered or not remembered, and sometimes beyond this life of yours to other lives, to other lifetimes. And in all of it, the intent is always to bring back aspects of things that might be missing from your perception, from your actual emotional experience, so that your current experience is more fully robust, more actualized, not to get somewhere, to achieve something, maybe, but really unto itself. Because I would also say that there are times when people come to me and they're asking for clarity in regard to a job, or, you know, maybe with, you know, roommates, or, you know, love, or wanting a home. Those things are all available. So it's not to say, hey, don't go and do a thing. Don't ever do a thing. Just follow Spirit. No, that's not it either. It's actually just to say, though, do everything you do fully with Spirit in it, I think. And so, yeah, I would say often that is this journey that I'm inviting you on, is that, ooh, we got to watch out. Our brain has been set up a certain way, and we have been told the rules by which to play and live. And so, unfortunately, we miss a whole lot of life that way. Ooh, we miss a whole lot of life. And there is a delightful aspect which is at your fingertips. I guess at your fingertips. I mean, that's probably a good way to say it. And in order to go there, you do have to kind of like shift and turn off a couple of things and allow, if you will, sort of your heart to give me, in this case, and it can be other energy healers, and maybe to some degree doesn't even need to be facilitated by anyone, because truth be told, this is available to you. So I'm not some influencer saying, hey, you gotta sign up for my 10-week course and you're gonna be all phenomenal, your life is gonna be perfect. No. I don't even have a 10-week course. But if you wanted me or someone like me to help facilitate for you to start finding these profound places of joy and delight and excitement, and more depth to perhaps something that you felt like was shitty, and so, well, that was the shitty thing, and so there you go. But truth be told, it's there, it's present, it's there for you all the time. I know I speak about therapy and prayer and meditation, and so using therapy to, if you will, face the things that you're potentially afraid to face. Using therapy to discover more of who you are, more of what there is for this world and you in it. Using prayer and meditation to do the same. There is a good chance that you too can find these beautiful aspects, the energy of things, which is so absolutely, like, if you could, brighter than any rainbow you see. And we all love our rainbows when we see them. Wow, we're all like, hey, take a picture. And if we had to, we could just say, like, to some degree or another, like life as we know it. If we're going to use this rainbow analogy, here we are grinding away at whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it the uneven playing field, is maybe almost monochrome in color, because it's sort of like only has 1 or 2 or 3 things that you're really sort of able to like live in. Like, there's not a lot of places for you to expand and grow and be. And then every once in a while we see like an inkling of a rainbow in our life. And I'm just saying, energy work, following the energy of something allows you to follow a rainbow. And yeah, to some degree, I'd say at the end of that rainbow is a really beautiful pot of gold, because in it, I discover every single time when I work with someone, something that is absolutely, truly profound. Sometimes I have people who come to me and the answer is there, but they can't believe it's that simple. And then Spirit shows them why it's that simple. I have sometimes, often, where we end up back in like beautiful, like childhood memories of things that were so like near and dear to the person when they were a child, but seem to have been forgotten because now that they're an adult and they're important, to let it go. And that's just something not to focus. I find my own self, my own journey with Spirit being one where they guide me often back to things that I did in my bedroom, where I played with my stuffed animals and I played with my Barbies. And I'm finding the more and more that I am creating my journey, it sort of feels like me back in that little bedroom when I was, I think, 7 years old, maybe. Yeah, somewhere around there, 5, 7 years old. And I would do it for hours on end, and I loved it, and I was so at peace. And I am being shown again and again to recreate that on an adult scale. And it's kind of an exciting little adventure for me. So maybe today, think about, or maybe not think, feel for the energy of things. It's everywhere, everywhere. You don't need to go into a Reiki session or do a energetic healing session. You don't. Just though, slow yourself down. Just though, take a moment and slow yourself down and step back and ask yourself this: what is the energy of this thing that I'm doing? What is the energy asking of me, asking of us, if you're in a group? What is the energy? And see if it shows you something new. Shows you maybe, if you will, 9%, 9/10 of what you're doing is exactly the same. But what if there was a little shift and you add a little icing to that cake that you're making, and it takes you in a new place. That could be cool. So, my lovely, lovely, lovelies, I really do hope that you see maybe everything that I've been talking about for the last 30 some episodes. We're on 32 right now. Wow, look at us go. As an opportunity to see that this isn't like me trying to teach you how to get through life better, but maybe show you that there is a really, actually far cooler game to play. And it does start with stopping and feeling lots of things, feeling all of your feelings, feeling the energy of things. I'll see you next week. Thanks for listening, my lovely little humans. Just a reminder as we close, it's not in the rules and the roles and the expectation or the noise. It is in the energy. Follow the energy. It will expand. It will take you on a journey that is far more colorful than anything you can imagine. See you next week.